video, I'm going to be showcasing the best decks to come out of Infinite Forbidden, and I got some pretty nice deck profiles with it. Now, if you guys are new to the channel, go ahead and hit the subscription button down below, guys, and while you're there, hit the notification bell, leave a like, and comment what you guys want to see next. Of course, guys, I try my best to respond to each and every single one of you guys' comments, and who knows, you might just get the lucky comment of the day. But without further ado, guys, let's get right into the video. Before we get into the video, guys, go ahead and hit the links down below, guys. I have launched a Twitter. Although I have 14 followers, I just had my first quote-unquote viral tweet. I got 38 likes on it, guys, and I'm going to be going absolutely stupid in the near future. I'm a lot active on it as well, so if you want to hit me up, have any questions, comments, concerns, things of that nature, guys, go ahead and hit me up on it. That's Ather Gaming YGO. But now let's get back into the video. All right, guys, so starting off with the deck, of course, the first deck is going to be Fiendsmith Yubel. Now, again, guys, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do like the super basic generic cards, very similar to my combo video, and then we're going to quickly get on to kind of like the cooler and spicier deck profiles. But in my opinion, I think Info is an absolutely crazy set. If you guys want to do like a quick set breakdown, set list, things of that nature, hit me up, guys, let me know. But again, you guys can see here, not much really changes in terms of the actual engine, and I know that the Fiendsmith cards will make like all of the decks really broken, but I just wanted to break down like the two decks that kind of benefit the most. So again, the first one is going to be Yubel. So again, we have Yubel Terror Arc Incarnate, followed by the regular Yubel. Now this is very important for the combos, because you want to be able to get both of these cards out in the one card Nightmare Throne combo, because that's how you kind of get the nastiest board imaginable, followed by the double Spirit of Yubel. Of course, opening these cards isn't that good. You don't really want to open them. You want to be able to summon them out of your deck. So again, it's really good. So we have like a cute little package there, followed by one of the best normal summons in the deck, which is going to be Samsara the Lotus. Shout out to this card. This card's really good. It's basically a Lone Fire Blossom, normal summon, tribute, summon out Spirit, Spirit get Nightmare Throne, and the loop continues. It is also really good because it has the other effect where it says during the end phase, if you control Yubel, note it has to be Yubel, it cannot be any of these other crappy monsters, it has to be Yubel. If you control Yubel, you can add this card to your hand or special summon it. Most of the time you're going to special summon it. Why? Because it says this: during your opponent's turn, when a monster effect is activated while you control a Yubel monster, quick effect tribute. So again, if you control regular Yubel, you can add to your hand, and then you can summon it, and then while you control any Yubel monster, so Phantom, Spirit, any of those guys, then you get the negate effect. One thing to note is Yubel has the effect where during the end phase, tribute one other monster or destroy this card. It's very similar to the Widow Anchor Mystic Mind shenanigans, where you want to basically keep Yubel on board, resolve Samsara the Lotus first, so get it and summon it, and then Yubel, resolve Yubel after to blow up Yubel. So very good in that regard. Moving on, guys, we are playing double Grave Squirmer. Again, initially, yeah, you want to play more of these cards, but you want to make space for the Fiendsmith cards, especially because like these cards are very crucial to the combo, but the Fiendsmith cards are just like crazy crack. Works very well with this deck as well. I think like MST TV called it Fiend Link. There were a couple other people who called it Fiend Link. I'm not too sure who coined it first, but it's pretty fire, I'm not gonna lie. It's a crazy name. But moving on from double Grave Scrimmer, we got triple the Fiendsmith. Now this card is the problem, literally. This card literally says this: you can discard one card, add one Fiendsmith Smell Trap card from your deck to your hand, try one Fiendsmith equip card you control and one monster on the field, send them to the graveyard. If this card's in your graveyard, you can shuffle one other light fiend monster from your graveyard into the deck or extra deck, special summon this card. Way too many effects on this card. This card is just crazy. Like, why did Konami think that if I play a card that, wait a minute, I discard a card to get a spell, but now this card can come back on the field? Like, bro, what's wrong with you? But that's it for the Fiendsmith. Then the one Fabled Lurie to play the combo. Again, if you're not familiar with the combo, guys, I will make a video on the combo and just kind of how broken this engine is. And then moving on, guys, we play the one Dark Beckoning Beast and we play the one Chaos Summoning Beast. Now, the reason for this is because if you specifically opening of the Spirit Gates, Dark Beckoning Beast cannot search itself. So right here it says, once card normal summon, add one Uriah, blah, blah, or one card that specifically lists any of them above except Dark Beckoning Beast, meaning that if you go Dark Beckoning Beast into opening of the Spirit Gates, opening of Spirit Gates into Dark Beckoning Beast cannot search itself, meaning that you need to play an additional name, which is going to be Chaos Summoning Beast. OCG was already on this, and now TCG is slowly getting to it, and I'm pretty sure that eventually like we will see that Chaos Summoning Beast in Nebulous. But again, this card is that, and then this card's kind of like a soft break. You can tribute this card, special summon one, blah blah, whatever. It's like a soft break, I would say. Like, you get an additional normal summon, worst case. So it's really good in that regard. And then we play the one Sharvara, of course, for the combo. Now again, that's it for like the core of the monsters in terms of Fiend Link. We want to play triple Ash Blossom, triple Effect Veiler, the one Droll, one Nib, followed by the triple Cross-Site Designator. Again, this is just like a sample list. I kind of got inspired from OCG, grab some things here, sprinkled it in, call myself Gordon Ramsay. But basically, that's kind of what it is, right? And Droll's gonna be like everywhere in the format, and it really does suck against his deck, so just watch out for that. Then you have the one call by, you know, just to hit all the other hand traps. And then in terms of consistency, we play the triple Nightmare Throne with the one Terraforming Throne, get Lotus or Summoning Beast or Beckoning Beast, sorry, and then just play off from there. Really crazy what it does. And then Terraforming, of course, for consistency. And then we play Opening of the Spirit's Gate. So one thing about this is this card says it's a mandatory add. When this card is activated, add. So it's really good in that regard, because it says you can only activate once per turn, and you cannot activate this card under Droll and Lockbird, meaning that if you draw your opponent, they cannot use this effect, which is basically they cannot use the Reborn effect either, which is crazy. Okay, so very good in that regard. So again, Opening Spirit's Gates, when it's activated, you add one of the Summoning Beasts, and then also has the other effect where it says once per turn, discard one card, special summon one Fiend monster with 0 attack. So you can do like kind of cool things where like you normal this and you have a Yubel engrave, and then you discard Lotus, target Lotus. So it's really good. But again, if they're drolled, they cannot activate this card because it is a mandatory add. Then it also has the other effect where it says once per turn, if you control a level 10 monster, which is literally these guys, whatever, you can add one continuous spell from a grave to your hand, so you can recur Nightmare Pain, right? So it's really good in that regard. Then we played the one Fiendsmith Tractus. Now this is the engine. Again, it's 3/1/1, so it's literally 5 cards in any deck can play. It's gonna be stupid. Literally just says add one of the cards. So basically you discard this, you get Tractus. Tractus says add one Light Fiend monster, then discard. So you add Lurie, discard Lurie, Lurie reborns itself out. Then it says you can banish the card from your graveyard, fuse summon one Fiendsmith monster, using monsters from your hand or field. So it's really good. Then we have the one Nightmare Pain, which is basically the Dragonic Diagram. Again, if you're not familiar, guys, combo somewhere over here. I did a crap ton of Yubel videos. And then we have the triple Infinite Impermanence to round off the deck at 40. Moving on to the extra deck, I will just talk about the Fiendsmith cards because they're kind of new. So we have Lacrimosa. Lacrimosa is pretty good. Monster opponent control, lose 600 attack. Also remember that Lacrimosa is a level 6 fiend, really good. Once per turn, if this card is fusion summon, target one Light Fiend monster in your graveyard, add to your hand or special summon. So in graveyard or banish, so it can be basically Fiendsmith, so you reborn Fiendsmith. With that, you can target one Light Fiend monster in your graveyard, banish it. If this card is sent to the graveyard, you can shuffle one other Light Fiend monster from deck and then inflict 1200. So again, now we have a win con in time, which is really cracked. Main reason for this card is when you fusion it, it can reborn it again, so it can keep on playing. Then we have the one Fiendsmith Dice Array. This is kind of the droplet Dark Ruler Stopper. This says this: you can negate the effects of a number of face-up cards on the field up to the total link ratings of the link monsters equipped to this card. If this card sends to your graveyard, you can shuffle one other link fiend monster, blah whatever. The way that you kind of out this, and I don't have it here, but basically it's supposed to be the Abomination's Trap card. Basically what you would do is you would flip it, and then when your opponent basically activates Dark Ruler, you flip the Abomination's Trap card, then you chain Dice Array or whatever to negate. And the reason why it works very well is like you always have a Shavari engrave, so even if you leave the Rage on board, it still works. I can't believe I forgot it, but basically, yeah, you would play the one Unchained Abomination Reborn Trap card, and if you guys skip the video, then who knows, then you forgot my reasoning for it. But then we play the double Phantom Yubel. This card's cracked. And then we also play the one Beatrice, Lady of the Eternal. This card's should 1000% be banned. This is literally like Fiendsmith becomes like full combo to get to Beatrice. Beatrice, dump any card. You can side any transactional rollback. You can side Angel of Blue Tears to get anything you want. So it's very good in that regard. And then we have the one High King Caesar, again, like I said before, level 6 fiends out the wazoo. Then we have the one Varudras, again, the Omni Negate really broken. Then we have the Lynx one Fiendsmith Requiem. You can only use blah whatever. During your main phase, tribute this card, special summon one Fiendsmith monster from your hand or deck. Target one non-light link fiend monster you control, equip this card, blah whatever. So that's kind of how you always get like the negate with Dice Array. Then we have the Link to Sequentia, basically the exact same thing where during main phase you fusion summon, really good. Then we have Closed Heaven or Closed Sky, whatever you want to call it. This is basically any two monsters, full combo herder, like start drooling on the board. Then we have the Cross Sheep, which is very important because Cross Sheep is how do you get to Appaloosa. Then we have the SP Little Knight, we have the Yama, we have the Rage, and we have the Appaloosa to round it off. So that's it for like the Yubel list, I would say. It's very, again, like I said, very bare bones. I just wanted to kind of highlight the Fiendsmith cards, so now we don't need to explain them when you see them again. But now let's move on to the other deck. Alright guys, now we are quickly moving on to the other deck, and now like I said before, don't need to explain the Fiendsmith cards. So again, this is just a Snake-Eye list, so 3 Ash, 2 Poplar, 1 Oak, double Flambirds, double Diabellstar, 1 of the Snake-Eye. Then again, like I said before, we have the Fiendsmith package, so 3/1. Then we have the triple Ash Blossom, triple Veiler, triple Wanted, triple Bonfire, 1 Field Spell, 1 OSS. We play double Tractus in this list. Personally, I think you could just cut the Tractus and you can play like another Talents instead. But I just wanted to put 2 Tractus in just to kind of show you guys like this is like one of the best extenders in the deck, followed by like everything else. So the deck's super consistent. One called by, of course, triple cross out with the 1 talents for cross out, plus like the other million hand traps, triple imperm. And again, like I said before, we have the Lacrimosa, the Disarray, the Beatrice, because basically the way, or like if you guys don't know what the combo is, it's Fiendsmith discard, you basically link into Sequentia, and you basically end on a link 2 plus Beatrice. Beatrice will dump your Snake-Eye Ash, and then you'll take the link 2 and Beatrice, and you go into Princess, and then Princess will reborn the Snake-Eye Ash. Ash effect will go ahead use to get popular, and then you guys can see the full combo. Again, like I said before, if you guys don't know Fiendsmith combos, I will literally upload a video showing like 5 Fiendsmith combos. Like, this shit is crazy, bro. And then of course you play the Rage Phoenix, Zelantis for the OTK, and then we have the Appaloosa. So again, this card also needs to get banned. But that's it for like the sorry, not the Fiendsmith, the Snake-Eye Fiendsmith list, guys. Like I said before, very basic in terms of what Fiendsmith will do. And of course, if you don't get a ban list, the list is probably gonna look something like this. But moving on to the third deck now. All right, guys, now we're getting on to my personal favorite deck that's coming out of info. It's going to be Asteria of the Whitewoods, or like White Forest or Whitewoods. Basically, guys, this is a deck that focuses on synchro summoning, very similar to Sword Soul in that regard. And I'm a sucker for synchro monster, but we are playing triple Ash Blossom followed by triple Asteria of the Whitewoods. They all have the effect where it's like you can send 1 spell trap card from your hand or field to the graveyard, special summon a 1 light spellcaster monster from your deck. If a spell trap card is sent to the graveyard to activate a monster's effect while this card's in your graveyard, special summon it. So it's really good because like it discards synchro summons, and then like the monster you summon will send, and then reborns, and then a link climb. So it's really good, kind of like the Mayakashi stuff, except it doesn't really lock you, so it's much better than Mayakashi shit. But then we play the triple effect filler, of course, followed by the Arcia. Arcia is like a little extender. If you control Whitewoods, summon it from your hand, send 1 spell trap card to the graveyard, or draw 1 card. This card's in your graveyard. Quick effect: target 1 Whitewood synchro monster you control, return to the action deck, and if you do special summon this card, but negate its effect. So again, it's a level 4 extender tuner that can reborn itself. Really good. Moving on from Arcia, guys, we are playing the other card, which is going to be Reset of the Whitewoods. You send 1 spell trap card from your hand graveyard, special summon this card from your hand, and then add 1 Whitewoods monster from your deck to your hand. Again, a 3-of, really cracked 3-of. It is a level 2, similar to this one. They aren't tuners, so remember that they summon the tuners, but this card says this: if a light spellcaster is special summoned to your field during your opponent's turn, add this card to your hand. It's weird that this one is for your opponent's turn and this one is either player's turn, or sorry, this is either player's turn, but it doesn't really matter. This card's really good. Send, summon, add, and then during your opponent's turn, it gives you recursion. Like I said before, it's better than Sword Soul because like Moyi never came back. I would love Moyi to come back. Like Moyi always come back, but these cards do come back, so it's really good. Then we are playing Sylvie of the White Lords, or Whitewoods, or Sylve. I don't know how to pronounce these cards, bro. If this card's normal special summon, you can add 1 Whitewood spell trap card from your deck to your hand. This card's in your graveyard, you can target 1 Whitewoods, synchro, put it back, summon it, negates effects, right? Really good. So again, these cards have like the same effects, where these cards can quick effect return to come back. They're all tuners as well, whereas these cards aren't tuners, but they tutor everything out. So very, very important. Then we play the 1 Iris Sword Soul. I was thinking between this and the Centurion cards, or like Quem. I think that this card's better because not only can we search it, we always have negated effects on the board with cards like Sylve and cards like Arcia. So it is almost always viable, especially because like you guys can see I'm playing Skill Drain, so there's always an effect. And then this card's really good because it says if a monster is special summoned while this card is on the field, you can special summon 1 monster from your hand. So again, the hand effect is never gonna happen. Basically, you're gonna want to draw 2 cards or destroy one of the monsters from the extra deck. Especially if you play like a crap ton of hand traps, drawing it is pretty good. But for the most part, we want it for the disruption because like popping an extra deck monster is pretty good. I heard non-targeting, right? And then of course, moving on to some more cards. In my opinion, the best cards or supplementary engine of the deck is going to be Toy Soldier. And the Toy Tank. So Toy Soldier basically says this, kind of like an artifact, you can set it, and then it says if this set card in the spell trap card zone is sent to the graveyard, special summon this card's normal special summon, add 1 toy box from your deck to your hand, or if you control toy box, add 1 level 4 light monster instead. Very good because it works with all of these cards, which is kind of crazy. But basically, you set this card, send it, go plus ultra. Toy Tank, very similar, set it. If this card is set to the graveyard, special summon this card, tribute this monster, special summon 1 level 6 or lower monster from your hand, or if you control toy box, special summon 1 monster from your graveyard instead. So again, these cards work absolutely insanely well. Like I have no idea why you wouldn't just play 3 in 1, because like they always get to each other, which is crazy. Like set this, send this effect, add a guide, do this, like reborn a card, summon a card. Like it's really crazy. Doesn't make sense. Moving on to the spell cards, guys, we are playing triple Legend of the Whitewoods. If you control an illusion or spellcaster, add 1 Whitewoods monster from your deck to your hand. If this card is sent to the graveyard to activate a monster effect, you can set this card. You can only use each effect once per turn. If you guys notice, all the cards that I'm sending, it's resetting, whether it be the toy cards, whether it be the Whitewood cards, they all reset themselves, which is very good. Then we play triple pot of prosperity because consistency, who doesn't like it? And then we have the triple toy box. Now this card is basically when your opponent monster declares attack, send one face down card you control to graveyard, destroy that opponent's monster. So pretty good, like one of those secret effects. Once per turn, from your hand, deck, or face up, choose up to 2 monsters with toy in their name and then set themselves. So it's really, really good, really crazy. And then you can or destroy up 2 cards in each spell trap card zone. So again, it's really good. For the most part, we're always going to be recurring these cards to send them away, so you guys kind of get the loop, right? This card sends, summons, reborns, synchro. This card can reborn during opponent's turn. This card sends, summon, reborns during opponent's turn. This card sends, summon, reborns during opponent's turn. So you always are constantly looping your resources. It's a lot better than Sword Soul, in my opinion. Of course, Sword Soul had protos back then, and back then it was crazy, but now I think that this deck is a little better than Sword Soul. Then we played the triple infinite impermanence. Not only is this a hand trap, we can also send it, so it's not bad. We have the 1 Vanadium Refraining. You guys will see in my extra deck in the combo. Then we have the 1 Silhouette. This card's really good. Special summon this card. This card summon. You can try to face up cards your opponent controls. Equal number of illusion monsters, negate their effects. So again, I'm pretty sure like one of these, or no, it's the extra deck monsters that are illusion. Sorry about that. So we get free negates. Then we have Skill Drain as well. So you guys can see Skill Drain works very well, very similar to Snake-Eye because these cards send as cost. So if you have Skill Drain, we Skill Drain our opponent. During our turn, we can send it away as cost and keep playing. And again, it works very well with Iris Sword Soul as well. I thought about playing hand traps, but I feel like decks just don't lose the hand traps anymore. So I decided to just like forego it and just play triple skill drain, followed by the 1 trap card. Trap card is very good because it lets you summon 1 from hand or deck, and then immediately you can synchro summon, then send to the graveyard to activate a monster effect, reset this card. Very, very powerful. But moving on to the action, guys, we are playing the newest card, which is going to be Top Hat here, the Silhouette Magician. This is any 2 effect monsters on summon, set 1 continuous trap directly from your deck that summons itself, and then it basically says if a trap monster is like summoned from a spell trap card zone, you can target 1 spell trap card your opponent controls and destroy it. Very, very potent because this is how you get to Silhouette, and like I said before, this is a illusion, so you get a free negate. Then we have 1 IP, 1 SP. Again, there's no restriction in the deck. We have the 1 Lina because all these cards are light, so Lina works very well in this card. In this deck, you can technically play 2 Top Hat here if you want. We have the 1 Appaloosa because there's like a specific combo where like if you open this plus toy box, you basically have enough to go into Appaloosa and still play. We have the 1 Formula Synchron. I'll explain it later on. We have the 1 Silvera. This is basically one of the main ways of how we disrupt our opponent. This is the main way of how we disrupt our opponent. This card says if this card special summon, change all face up monster your opponent controls to face down defense position, and then illusion spellcasters gain 500, and then they inflict double piercing. One thing to know about this is not a hard run to turn, so we're going to constantly loop this card, and we're constantly going to be crapping on our opponent. Then moving on, guys, we played the 1 Arcelia. So again, it's like the big mommy versions of these cards. We played the 1 Arcelia. This card says if this card special summon, send 1 spell trap card from your hand or field to the graveyard. Add 1 Whitewoods or 1 light spellcaster from your deck to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn, blah blah whatever, and they all gain 500 and they cannot be destroyed by opponent's card effect. So pretty good. This is kind of how you search effect builder. You can also search extenders. You can also search Iris Sword Soul if this card is summoned during our opponent's turn. And note, this card says if this card is special summon, not if this card is synchro summon. So it's really good. They played the 1 Tri-Edge Master. Again, it's a light monster. It's a synchro 6, and it basically says if it's used using a 2 and a 4, we draw a card. In my opinion, this card is a little better than Stardust Charge Warrior, but again, to each their own. But just the fact that this card can go like a 1 and a 5 or something like that works pretty well in that regard as well, because we get like a free pop-up card, so it's pretty good. Then we have the 1 Muddy Mud Dragon, because basically we use this card to go into Albion, then we use Albion to go into Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Pretty good. Again, like I said before, see my combos for that. Then we have the 1 Diabel, Phoenix of the Whitewoods. Now this is one of the only cards that says if this card is synchro summoned using a tuner synchro monster as material, target 1 spell trap card in the graveyard, add it to your hand. This is like very similar to Nirvana High Paladin, where it's on summon you can add back, so you can basically add back a Floodgate. Pretty nasty in that regard. Then it also has the other effect where it says when your opponent activates a card or effect, send 1 spell trap card from your hand or field, then summon 1 level 7 or lower tuner synchro monster from your extra deck, graveyard, or banishment. Now this is basically how you cheat out your Formula Synchron or any of these cards. Again, just remember that this is not a what is it, like it's not summoned correctly, meaning that like you cannot reborn these cards, but that's why these cards work very well, because they can shuffle them back you control or in your graveyard. So even if this card isn't in your graveyard, you can just return it to summon it out. So you want to save these cards for when these cards hit the board, because then you end up getting like free special summons like Surge or Book Everything, or you can summon out the Formula Synchron because this is a level 8 and 2 and 8 go into Chaos Angel. So basically during our opponent's turn, we can go ahead and Chaos Angel to send a card. And then it's really hard to out this because it says light monsters, synchro monsters are unaffected by the activated effects of monsters by your opponent control. So again, it makes like all of our monsters really broken. Then we have the one Army Tara, again, one tuner plus one non-tuner. You can use blah blah whatever. Once per turn, discard synchro summon, add one spell trap that mentions Visa Starfrost. So this is how we get our reframing, and then basically we link this card into Top Hat. Top Hat will set Silhouette. Now you have a free negate plus a Silhouette, so it's a pretty good nasty board in that regard. But that's it for the Whitewoods deck. Again, guys, a lot to say because I am very, very high on this deck. I think it's going to be pretty good. Again, granted that we do get a ban list that checks Snake-Eye and Fiendsmith. Alright, guys, moving on quickly to another deck that gets support. It's going to be Tenpai. Not much to say about it. It's a very brain dead deck. Like, you lose skill playing this deck. So it's going to be triple Ash Blossom, one Magnemite, double Pankratops. Now, this is a new card. We got Dora Draco. If this card is normal summon, add one level 4 lower fire dragon monster from your deck to your hand. Then it has the other effect, which is like you can activate the top. If it's a fire dragon, send it, and this card gains 1,000 attack for each Dora Draco you currently control, and then you place it at the bottom of the deck. The main reason I play this card is just consistency. We have the hand trap, so triple Veiler, double Ogre, and then of course we have the triple Chandra, the one Fadra, the double Rengoku. This card says if this card's added, it's like popular, summon it, then you contribute it to summon another Tenpai monster from your deck. So basically, it like lets you work around like an additional extender, things of that nature. Then we have the triple Pydra, then you have the Droplet, the Duster, the double Lightning Storm, the double Prosperity because it's like one of the only decks that can like OTK through it. Then we have the triple Kaiman, the triple Summoning, the one Terraforming because like this card's cracked. Then you have the triple Emperor followed by the Black Roses. So we have Moonlight, and we have regular. Then we have the Dawn Dragsters for if we go first. We have the Meteor Burst to like get like the OTK shenanigans going. We have the double Bident Dragon, then we have the one Transcendent Dragon, then we have the Time Lord for like time, I guess, or just to stall. We have Ruddy Rose, we have the Trident Dragon, we have Seals, we have Hida, we have SP, we have Princess, and we have Sky Crisis Typhon. Now again, like I said before, not much to say about this deck. You literally just throw a bunch of cards, hit your head on the ground a couple times, you start drooling everywhere, and you win somehow. That's it for the Tenpai cards. Now let's move on to some more fun decks. All right, guys, now we are getting on to another deck that's getting some pretty nasty support. In my opinion, it was one of those decks that was very close to being really, really good, and now it's just really, really good. So basically, it's going to be Memento. So again, I'm just gonna break down like what the cards do. And then I have combos and everything coming out. Like, I'm really intrigued about this deck. But basically, we have the one Memento combined creation. This card's really good. He's basically your boss monster. He's like, it can attack all monster opponent controls, 5 million attack. Once per turn, if your opponent activates a card effect, special summon one Memento monster from your hand or graveyard. So again, he's really good, especially because he gives your other cards unique effects. Then we have the one Then we have the one Memento Tolan Mace. Basically, I'm just going to call him like Memento Mace and whatever. So then we have the one Memento Mace. This just says during your opponent's turn, if you control the combined guy, you can discard this card, then target one face-up monster your opponent controls, take control of it. During your main phase, you can destroy one Memento monster you control, and if you do, add one Memento card. So again, they all have like really good effects. And then one thing that's really good about this deck, it's always recurring no matter what. And basically, like, we can always get this big boy out. So it's really good because now we have like a quick effect, change of heart. Then we have the Goblin. Goblin says during the main phase, if you control the big boy, quick effect, discard this card. Your opponent cannot target monsters you control with card effects. So again, you guys can start to see like the reasoning behind it, right? It says boss monster turbo, protect the castle. During main phase, destroy one Memento monster you control, and if you do, send 2 cards with different names from each other from your deck to the graveyard. Goblin's really good, and the fact that he's just so easy to tutor, like, these cards are crazy, like, they're literally hand traps, right? This card says if this card's normal special summon, oh sorry, this is Godic. I used to call him Karibo, but he's basically Godic. If this card's normal or special summon, you can target one Memento card in your graveyard, add it to your hand. If this card is sent to the graveyard by Memento monster's effect, special summon it. Really good. Then we have the new card. Now this is kind of how it kind of brings everything together. They have a new fusion card. This is kind of how we do it, because this card says this: if a monster in your possession was destroyed by card effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. If it's normal special summon, you can fusion summon, and then if this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, send one Memento card from your deck to your graveyard. A bunch of effects, and all those effects are very, very good, especially because we get this card in the graveyard, then when you pop a card, we reborn it, then when it's reborn, we fusion summon. So that's how we get like free disruptions. Then we have the triple Anguish. Anguish is basically the best card in the deck in my opinion, or second best. There's one card that's really good, but this card says if this card is normal special summon, add one Memento monster from your deck to your hand, target one level 2 or lower monster in your graveyard, destroy one Memento monster, and if you do, special summon that target. Really, really good. One of the best normal summons, if not the best normal summon. But talking about the other broken card, it's going to be Tatsunoko, Tatsuno Gishio, whatever. This card says this: if you do not control any face-up monsters, other than Memento monsters, special summon this card. During main phase, destroy one Memento monster you control and send any number of Memento monsters whose like level equals the total level. So it's really good, and they're less, right? So basically you go Anguish, get this, special summon this effect pop, and then you're off to the races. Basically like one of the most broken cards in the deck. Then moving on, we also play the triple Mementolin Darkblade. If this card no special summon, discard one Memento card, try one spell trap card your opponent controls, destroy it. In my opinion, any card that has that as like a secondary effect, not even its main effect, will just mean that like the engine's broken. Then this card has this effect: during main phase, destroy one Memento monster you control. If you do, specimen one level 3 or lower Memento monster from your deck. So again, Darkblade is very good because you can go ahead and normal Darkblade effect, pop itself, summon the level 3. And again, like I said before, it can be any of these cards. This card will summon itself up to immediate fusion summon. You can go ahead and get Anguish because Anguish can go ahead and trigger to get this guy, summon this guy, and then you're off to the races. Like all these other cards work very well as well. Of course, you can't summon Big Daddy, but whatever. Then we have the triple drone Lockbird. My opinion, it's probably gonna be one of the best hand traps going into the next format. We have triple Ash, triple Veiler, triple Imperm. Then we have Memento Fusion. Basically, it's like their Chimera Fusion. During main phase, fusion summon one fusion monster using monsters, blah blah whatever. If a monster in your possession was destroyed by card effect, you can also shuffle Memento monsters from your graveyard, meaning that we will always have this effect viable. During main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, destroy one monster you control, and if you do add one Memento spell from your deck to your hand, you can only use each effect once per turn. Note that says you can only add one Memento spell trap card from your deck to your hand. It does not say except itself, so you get itself, right? And you can only use each effect once per turn, meaning that we use one during our turn, one during our opponent's turn. Pretty broken. Then we have Memento Bone Party. This card is one of the most insane cards I've ever seen in my life. Destroy one Memento monster in your hand or face up. Take one Memento monster with a different name and either add to your hand or special summon it. Crazy. During main phase, banish this card from graveyard, target one Memento monster you control. If it attacks, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponent. The first effect is crazy. The second effect is like if you get this guy, you just slam your opponent into the face. And then we have the field spell. Field spell is very broken, especially because now we have like a consistent way of getting everything. Before it was like you had to pick and choose, but now we can get everything. This card says this: Memento I don't know, Abacus. You use this Memento field spell if your Memento monster battles, your opponent cannot activate anything during these during the damage step. So kind of like an Ancient Gear effect. If a monster you control destroy a battle or a card effect, trigger one of those monsters and special summon a monster with a lower level from your hand or graveyard. Once per turn during the end phase, you can target one Memento spell trap card and set it. This card's crazy. This card's just absolutely crazy. And now we have a way of consistently getting it, guys. So that's what makes it crazy. We also played the 1-for-1. 1-for-1, send any of the monsters to get any of these cards. Now we're off to the races. We also played the triple pot of prosperity for consistency, Call by the Grave, and then we also played the 1 cranium burst, Brain Blast. This card, they should have called it Brain Blast, bro. I know that like patent and all that shit, but they should call it Brain Blast. Basically, while you control Memento monster, your opponent's monsters that attack must attack the Memento guy with the highest attack. When your opponent activates a monster effect on the field, you can target one big boy, it loses 1,000 attack, and negate the activated effect. You can only activate this effect once per chain. Not once per turn, once per chain. Very similar to Appaloosa. Plus, I have 5 million attack. I'm going to negate all your shit and I'm going to kill you. Especially because I can constantly be looping this card. It's really good. Then moving on, we played the 1 Azrune and the 1 Shaddoll Core. This is like up to personal preference, whatever you guys want to play. Shaddoll Core helps you go first. Azrune is just a really good card. But moving on, guys, we will be talking about the new fusion cards now. So this is the new card, Combined Conqueror. I'm not saying that name. You can banish this card from your graveyard, add one Memento Fusion, or basically the field spell from your deck to your hand. So this is all saying that it's a way to get it. You cannot activate the following effect in the same chain. If this card is fusion summoned, you can send 3 Memento cards from your deck, and then you can target an equal number of Memento monsters you control and cards your opponent controls, destroy them. Very good. And note that is the quick effect. So quick effect, target to destroy, on summon, or sorry, banish it from the graveyard and get this. So like if you summon him first and then we fusion him, we can banish him to get it. Then he also has the other effect where he says you can target cards and destroy them, so it's really good in that regard as well. Then we have the 1 regular Memento Twin Dragon. Any monster destroyed by battle is banished, so again, really good. You can only use each of the following effects once per turn. If this card fusion summon, destroy 1 Memento card in your hand or face up, and if you do, add up to 2 Memento monsters from your deck. If this fusion summon card is destroyed, best summon 1 level 6 or lower Memento monster from your graveyard. So again, the fusion monsters are really good. Like Memento Fusion is really good. Speaking of fusions, Guardian Chimera, because why not? And Shaddoll Winda. The reason for Shaddoll Winda, guys, Top Hat can set it. So basically, you set Shaddoll Core off of this. Now during your opponent's turn, we go chain like 1 Memento, chain like 2 core, summon up core called Dark or whatever the hell you want to call it. Then we fusion using, I think Top Hat is a Dark, right? Oh, it's light. But basically, we fuse like any of the other monsters, and we summon a window during our opponent's turn, and then we just sit back like this and we chill and we say, well, you cannot special summon, so what are you supposed to do? So again, it's pretty good. That's why I said Core is a little better than Azrune, but Azrune doesn't rely on the fusion. But I mean, we will always be getting fusion. Then of course we have the Anima because you have the level 1 Goblin and the Mace, and it's better to have these cards in the graveyard. Then we also have the Cross Sheep for the combos because like Cross Sheep works very well with the fusion cards. Then we also have the Dark because all of our cards are dark. We also have the IP with SP because like these cards are just so stupid. Like IP is so stupid. Then SP is even more stupid. Then Celine is just really stupid. Then we have Abalusa, which is like, bro, just get this shit out of my face. Then we have Access Code, bro, get this shit out of my face. Then we have Abalusa Guards, bro, get this shit. Actually, this one's whatever, but still, you kind of get what I mean, right? But basically, that's really good in that regard. But that's it for like the Memento list, guys. Now let's get on to the final deck. Alright guys, now we are finally getting onto the final deck. Now this is going to be Gimmick Puppet, specifically FTK. Now again, we have this, and I'm not too sure if Konami will hit it preemptively, but we absolutely have it now, so might as well just FTK. If you guys don't know the combo, again, I will be releasing combos on all these info decks because sneak peeks next week, and basically you want to be ready because you don't want to get screwed at the NAWCQ bars. Basically guys, the newest card we will be playing is Gimmick Puppet Little Soldiers. If this card is normal special summon, send one Gimmick Puppet monster with a different level from your deck to the graveyard. This card becomes that sent monster level. Really good because it sends an 8, becomes an 8, you know what I mean? And then you can only use this effect once per turn, banish this card from graveyard, target 2, increase the levels by 4. So if you have like other 4s on the board and things of that nature, you can manipulate. You guys will see in the comments it comes up. Then we also have a card called Gimmick Puppet Bloody Doll. This is the new card. I'm not sure if they'll keep Bloody Doll, honestly, but we will see. So Soldiers sends Bloody Doll. If this card's in your hand, reveal one Gimmick Puppet monster in your extra deck. Best summon both one Gimmick Puppet monster from your deck with a level equal to the revealed monsters and this card. If they are sent to the graveyard, except from the hand, you can add this card to your hand, and then you basically get the effect, so you get 3 monsters on the board. Once per turn, you can also special summon monsters from the extra deck. The turn you activate either effect of the game effect. Doesn't matter, right? You guys can kind of see it. Normal summon, send, effect, back to hand, effect, summon itself, summon another card. We have 4 monsters on the board. They're all level 8, or 3, sorry. Then we also have Puppet Cattle Scream, the horsey. This card says you can detach one XYZ material from a monster you control, special summon this card from your hand or graveyard, banish one leaves field. If we overlay, you're not going to go anywhere. Once per turn, a Gimmick Puppet XYZ monster has this effect, says once per turn, target one monster in your opponent's graveyard, special summon it to their field in defense position. Now again, that's kind of how we put Nightmare on their field. We can't do a quick effect though, which Sanctifier can do, so ban Sanctifier. But basically, we play double Cattle Scream, then we have double Terror Baby or Terrorist Baby, as Farfa says. One card is special normal summon, target one Gimmick Puppet monster in your graveyard, special summon it, banish card from graveyard. Your opponent cannot activate effects in response to the effects of your Gimmick Puppet monsters. So this is kind of like if you already have extenders or things or ways to play, sending Terror Baby is really good because we banish it. Now we're untouchable. Then we have the one Scissor Arms, really good. Again, it's another way of foolishing, so that's kind of how you play it. Just because this can send this, so now we have more consistency. I didn't want to max up because I feel like 3-4 normal summons is pretty good. I know you want to do technically 5, but whatever. Then we have the one Bisque Doll. Bisque Doll is really good. Special summon this card from your hand by discarding a Gimmick Puppet. And then you can banish summon this card from your graveyard. Your opponent cannot target. So again, like I said before, get this in the grave, get this in the grave. Your opponent literally cannot play the game. Then we also play the one Dreary Doll. Then we play the one Dreary Doll. This card says this: banish one other Gimmick Puppet monster in your graveyard. Special summon this card. And then it can't be used as an XYZ summon except for a Gimmick Puppet. Like, joke's on you, we're playing pure Gimmick Puppet. Then we have Triple Ash followed by Triple Veiler. Then we have Mansion of the Underworld Dolls. This card is so stupid. They have to stop doing this with field spells. When this card is activated, add one Gimmick Puppet monster from your deck to your hand. Gimmick Puppet monsters you control cannot be destroyed in battle, and they're unaffected by opponent's activated non-XYZ effects. Once per turn, detach one XYZ material from a monster you control. Target one Gimmick Puppet monster in your graveyard. Special summon it to your opponent's field. Bro, it has 3 crazy effects. Like, what are you supposed to do about this? But moving on, guys, now we are going to be talking about Triple Condolence Puppet. This card says send Gimmick Puppet monsters with different names from your deck to the graveyard up to the number of monsters your opponent controls that were special summoned from the extra deck +1. So again, you'll always get a free Foolish Barrel. You can banish this card from your graveyard, target one machine XYZ, can't be destroyed by opponent's card effects while face up on the field. So again, this is really good. Then you have the Piri Rise map because this lets us add our little soldiers. I think like one of them other ones is like a 0, but no, never mind. So basically just helps us add this or any of our hand traps. Then you have Crossway Designator because we're playing FTK, followed by Call of the Grave. Then of course the field spell's so broken we gotta play as many as we want. So we're playing Terraforming, playing Set Rotation, and we have Heavy Metal Raiders because like worst case scenario, if I draw this like the first time each Jug Machine monster you control would be destroyed battle, it's not. And if you took battle damage, blah blah, it's really good in that regard. I have seen other people play like random crap, but like Zombie World, but in my opinion, this is pretty good. Then you have the rank up because that's how we kind of FTK our opponent. Then we have the Triple Imperm followed by the Service Puppet. This card is searchable by I think it's this guy. So basically, this card says target monster your opponent controls up to the number of Gimmick Puppet monsters you control. Take control of them. If you control a Gimmick Puppet XYZ monster, except the turn of this card, you banish the card, target one monster, blah blah, special summon it. So really good in that regard. I'm pretty sure this is how we Gimmick Puppet Nightmare, right? Target one XYZ material, special summon. Okay, never mind. But basically now we play the Double Link Gimmick Puppet Chimera Doll. I think the other one's pretty crap. During your main phase, if you control this link summon card, activate, you cannot special summon. Also take one Gimmick Puppet monster from your deck, add it to your hand, or send to the graveyard. Then if all monsters you control a Gimmick Puppet, you can special summon one Gimmick Puppet monster from your hand. So it's a very crazy extender. Then we have the one Gigantus doll. It's a level 4. You can detach 2 materials from this card, target up to 2 monster your opponent controls, and take control of them. And then it has the other effect where it says you can tribute this card. All monsters you currently control become level 8. Very, very important. We have the one Giant Grinder. A price per turn, you can detach 1 material, target 1 special monster your opponent controls, destroy it, then inflict damage to your opponent equal to the original attack, burning. Then we have the String Guy, Gimmick Puppet of Strings. Detach 1 material from this card, place 1 string counter on each face-up monster on the field. Once per turn during the next end phase of the opponent, destroy that monster with string counters, and if you do, inflict 500 damage to your opponent for each monster destroyed. We have 2 of them. Then we have the Phantasmix Machia. Then we have Gimmick Puppet Fantasix Machina. So basic kind of how like we get the rank up. So detach 1, get the rank up. Also during your main phase, you get an additional normal summon. If you special summon a Gimmick Puppet monster, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. Then you can add 1 rank up spell from your graveyard to your hand. So again, this is how we get this card, and we loop it. Then we have the CXYZ Fantasix Machina. If this is your special summon, add 1 puppet trap from your deck to your hand. So we get this. Then it also has the other effect. You can banish 1 material from this card, special summon 1 monster from either graveyard to your opponent's field in defense position. If a monster is special summoned to your opponent's field, target 1 monster, destroy, and if you do, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half its original attack. So again, we put a monster in your opponent's field, then when it gets summoned, we pop it. Really, really good in that regard. Again, you guys can kind of see we're starting to burn our opponent. Then we have Puppet of Leo. If you have no cards in your spell and trap card zone, detach 1 material from this card, and if you do, place 1 destiny counter on this card. When this card has 3 destiny counters, you basically win the duel. So it's pretty funny. I mean, in that regard, right? And it's a big boy, right? Then we have the one Gimmick Puppet Disaster Leo. So it's a C rank up. Basically says neither player can target this card on the field with card effects. Detach 1 material, inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent during your end phase. If your opponent's life points are 2,000 or less, and this card has no materials, you win the duel. Then we also have the other C, which is going to be Giant Hand Helper or whatever. You can detach 1 material from this card, target 1 card your opponent controls, destroy it. Then if it was a monster, inflict damage to your opponent equal to its original attack. So you guys can see like we're looping this card basically, and we are going to be burning our opponent a crap ton. Then we also play the one of Dark Strings. If this card's about summon, destroy as many monsters with string counters as possible. If you do, draw 1 card, then inflict damage to your opponent equal to the highest original attack among the destroyed. Once per turn, detach 1 material from this card, place 1 string counter on each face-up monster your opponent controls. So again, like I said before, it's a quick way of how we burn and FTK our opponent. Then we have the 1 Zeus to round everything off. So that was it for my 6 deck profiles, guys. Yes, I talked a lot. My throat hurts. I'm getting really, really tired. But again, guys, if you guys like the video, please go ahead and leave a like. If you guys want to see combos, any specific combos of these decks, let me know, guys. Trust me, I got them. Check out my Twitter down below as well. Like, comment, subscribe, share if you care. Let me know what you guys think about my videos, my energy, and everything. My name is Hamza. Like I always say, guys, keep on shining, everyone, dreams. Peace.